Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all around the world, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Welcome, welcome, and welcome again to the Ramonepreston Show. Please do me a favor. I want you to hit the like button if you have the ability to, the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know your boy Ramonepreston, my squad, and the Ramonepreston Show. We're live today on this Tuesday, November the 8th, 2022, right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. So please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know that the Ramonepreston Show is live. While you're coming on, please be sure to put in the comments what city you're watching me from. I appreciate you sharing what city you watch from, because you give me, my team, and you give our community an opportunity to know where you're watching from, so that we can all see that there are people from all different walks of life, from different locations, who tune in to the Ramonepreston Show. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. I am your host, Ramonepreston. And if you don't know, every Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, we show up here on this show live, like today, Tuesday, November 8th, and we give you information that we know can be used to help you start, structure, and at some point scale your business and your income streams. If you don't really know a lot about my organization as a whole, we are a consulting, coaching, and training organization. So we provide business and financial and even real estate consulting, coaching, and education. We have an educational platform called Ramonepreston University that houses some of our most powerful and impactful programs, like our Millionaire Blueprint, which is an online educational business and financial wealth building system. Ramonepreston University is the home to our Millionaire Mentorship Program, which is a one-year coaching and consulting program that we provide for our clients. Our university is also the home to our licensing program. We have an entire licensing division where we license all of our curriculum, all of our content, and we give our licensees a legal right to use all of our resources and to monetize all of our digital products and programs. We also have a school of ministry, a school of prophets, and so many other single courses that we provide, because our goal is to show you the most effective and efficient way to start a business or ministry, structure that business or ministry, and scale it to the next level. So I appreciate you being a part of the show today. I have a great discussion that I want to have with you on how to climb the income ladder. Like you see this diagram behind me, I'll get to it in a minute, but my discussion with you today I really want it to be centered around how to climb the income ladder to the 1%. Oh, by the way, today is Tuesday, November the 8th, 2022. So my wife and my squad continues to remind me, and I want to remind you to get out and vote wherever you are, and make sure that you vote. Of course, you're going to vote your convictions and your personal or political persuasions, but at least vote. Support what's going on in your county, in your community. Support what's going on in your state. Support what's going on in the country. So my team and my wife continues to remind me to do it today, so I'm gonna remind you to do it as well. So get out and vote, rock the vote, and make sure that you make your vote count. So today we're talking about how to climb the income ladder to the 1%. How to climb the income ladder to the 1%. So I have three keys that I'm going to share with you today on how to climb the income ladder to the 1%. But before I do, a few things I want to share with you very quickly. Number one, all of this information that I'm sharing with you today on this income ladder, okay? This information is one of the 30 plus courses that we have in our Millionaire Blueprint. So as you see here, this income ladder is a diagram that we've created. It's a part of our course called the Income Ladder of Success, and it's in my Millionaire Blueprint, my online business and financial wealth building system. So if for any reason there's some things that I share with you that you want more information on, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to give you access to this course on the Income Ladder of Success and all of the business and financial courses that we have available in our Millionaire Blueprint. This is a 1-year online virtual video-based program to teach you all the ins and outs of finances, entrepreneurship, business ownership, investing, wealth building, holding companies, and the list goes on and on. Goal setting, scheduling, systems, processes. We put it together to make it a real millionaire blueprint. So a lot of people are always asking, like, what's the blueprint to become a millionaire? I've always asked that question. I always tried to figure out, like, how do you become a millionaire? What are the things that you need to do? And what I have learned in my 20 years of being an entrepreneur to get to a place to where I can consider myself a millionaire mogul, and I can consider my organization to be a 7-figure organization, and I am a coach and a consultant and an educator and a mentor to people who want to become millionaires. I have learned that it ain't just one or two things that you need to become a millionaire. It's going to be a multitude of things that some are very complex that you're going to have to learn to bring together in a very consolidated way so that you can move up that income ladder. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How do you climb this income ladder? So just in case you missed the show yesterday, let me bring you up to speed before I give you these 3 keys on how you climb this ladder. So if you're looking at this diagram, I want you to see this diagram here makes up 100% of households in the United States of America, okay? This is 100% of households in the United States of America. And this is not something that I'm using to judge people, to condemn people, to criticize people, or to make people feel bad. It's just me showing you the numbers, the math, the metrics behind where everyone in American households are collectively when it comes to their income class. So listen, you can't conquer what you won't confront. Let me just drop that bomb on you. You ain't gonna conquer what you won't confront. So if you ain't willing to confront the elephant in the room, if you ain't willing to confront the boogeyman under your bed, if you ain't willing to confront the skeletons in your closet or the dirt under the rug, if you ain't willing to confront the true numbers behind where you are categorically when it comes to income classes in the United States of America, how you gonna conquer it? So we're going to get past all this. Well, I'm going to just push it under the rug. I'm going to put it in the closet. I'm going to hide from it. No, we ain't hiding from it. We confront this doggone thing. We're going to confront poverty. We're going to confront lack. We're going to confront not enough. We're going to confront the struggle. We're going to confront the systemic issues that we have faced in our communities. And we're going to figure out, how do we climb this ladder? Well, I need to know what the steps are, but I need to know that there's a ladder that exists. And so this diagram shows you the economic metrics in terms of income classes when it comes to households in America. So out of 100% of households in America, 29% of households in America are considered poor class. 70% of households in America are considered lower middle, the middle of the middle, and upper middle. So that's basically the middle class. And then only 1% of households in America are considered upper class, millionaires, rich, and wealthy. So that means if you make $32,000 or less, categorically, when it comes to income classes in the United States, you are considered poor class. If you make anywhere from $32,000 shy of $400,000 a year, you are considered categorically middle class. If you make $400,000 or more in the United States of America, you are part of the 1%. Think about that. Only 1% of households in America make $400,000 or more a year. So as I mentioned yesterday, and I've said it many times before, I think it's worth saying it again. If you have financial targets, if you have goals that you've set for yourself on how much money you want to make every year, I'm telling you, at some point you need to develop the mindset and build the money muscle and learn and educate yourself to have the courage and the confidence and the character, like my wife likes to say, to at least set a target to make $400,000 a year. That should be your target. I know that sounds crazy because you might be like, man, how you gonna tell everybody that they need to have a target of 400,000? Why not? Should I say you need a target of $4,000 a year or 40,000, or should I say you should have a target of 400? You might well go, if you're gonna go all the way. So my point is, you need to have a target of at least $400,000 a year, because in your mind, you should be educating yourself and developing the courage and the confidence and the character and the competence and the consistency to figure out what are the things do I need to do to at least become a part of the 1%. Because I'm telling you, when you are here in the red, or when you are even here in this high yellow, you don't like the way life is. Because I know I've been down here at the bottom of the red, so I know how it is when economically you're struggling. And so the goal for us is to climb this income ladder to bring ourselves to the 1%, so that we at least have an opportunity or at bat to swing at becoming successful, to swing at becoming financially free. Because I'm telling you, I know a lot of people, of course I know a lot of people who make $32,000 or less, but I know a lot of people who are in this middle. And as I've said, and most financial experts will tell you this, the people in the middle are the most deceived people. Because the people in the middle are a lot of the people who think they're doing good because they're not doing as bad as the people in the red, and they're really poor people acting rich. That's what the middle class is poor people acting rich. And I've been in that, and I know how it is, because I got stuck in that cycle, okay? I've been in extreme poverty before, but the thing about being in extreme poverty, you know you're poor, you know you don't have the means, you know you are like at the bottom of society economically. And to some extent, when you down here in the red, especially at the bottom of it, to some extent you kind of accept it. You kind of accept the fact that this is the way life is. When you get in the middle, you start getting tricked, because you got credit cards, you got 2 vehicles, you got a house, you got a mortgage, you got a good job, you got a little 401k, you might have a little investment here or there, you got some stocks or money market accounts or CDs. You typically get tricked here. But the goal is to get you up here in the green, even if it's just right there at the $400,000 a year threshold. So that means your goal should be to figure out how to educate yourself, how to develop the courage and the confidence and the competence to at least start swinging at making $400,000 a year. So how do you climb that income ladder? How do you climb that income ladder? I'm gonna give you 3 keys, okay? These are just the 3 keys that I teach and 3 keys that I use to just simplify it. Because again, getting into that 1% is very complicated. It's a whole lot of stuff that you have to do, and you have to do it so consistently, so aggressively, and it has to be over long periods of time in order for it to work and for it to stick. So for example, you got a lot of people right now, when COVID hit in 2020, and then when the PPP loans started hitting, you got a lot of people who went from $32,000 a year up to maybe $1 million. They became millionaires overnight, or they started making hundreds of thousands of dollars and were categorically net worth millionaires. But the problem is, a lot of the people who had that big windfall in 2020, they don't have it today. A lot of people who did all that spending and splurging and wilding out and trying to build their business and buying buildings for their businesses and buying equipment and buying cars and hiring 10, 15 people, a lot of these people, done already downsized, they done already shifted, they done already sold off, and they're trying to recoup. You know why? Because they really didn't have a sustainable infrastructure built to maintain the integrity of what the PPP loans or what some big windfall put them in a category for. So I don't want you to just have a windfall, you get up here in the green, and then 2 years later you back in the red. I want you to figure out, how can I, with integrity, how can I, with courage and confidence and competency and with the right infrastructure, create ways to climb this ladder? And when I climb this ladder, I can stay at that place in the ladder and keep going up. Okay, so I'm gonna give you 3 keys. All right, here are my 3 keys. Number 1, the first key to climbing the income ladder to the 1%, because that's where I want you. I'm not showing you how to make $32,000 a year. I ain't talking to you about how to make 70 grand a year. I'm not even really talking to you about how to make $120,000 a year. I want to show you how to make at least $400,000 a year. And again, it ain't no easy way. And all the stuff that I'm telling you, if you don't put it to practice and you learn it all, it still ain't gonna work for you. And even when you put it to practice, you're gonna realize that some things work, some things don't. You gotta tweak it. That's why you gotta have people around you. This is why coaches and mentors and education in business and finance is so critical. This is why masterminds and being a part of networks and being connected and in the right circles, this is everything for people who make it to the 1%. Like for me personally, I don't know anyone personally that has made it to the 1%, that consistently lives in the 1%, who's not connected to people who are doing great things. Everybody that I know who makes at least $400,000 a year, they got mentors, they got coaches, they got consultants, they pay tens of thousands of dollars to travel, to go to events and to be in the right rooms. And they invest a whole lot of their time and money in educating themselves and becoming better and moving with technology, moving with times. Everybody under that, they don't do those things because they got an education from college, they got a degree, they got a good job, they stingy, they tight because they don't have the courage and the confidence. So they get stuck and they get tricked. So my first key to climbing the income ladder to the 1% is you need, here's the first thing I want to give you. You need what I call a vehicle. Okay? You need a vehicle. You need a vehicle. This is the first key to climbing the income ladder. So I'm going to keep going back and forth to show you. If you are in the red making $32,000 or less, that's poor class. If you are in the yellow making anywhere from $32,000 shy of $400,000, that is lower middle class. $60,000 to $110,000 is the middle of the middle, and $110,000 and up to less than $400,000 is the upper middle. If you are in any of those categories and you want to push yourself up to that 1% in the green, here is what you're going to need. The first key, you need a vehicle. So what is a vehicle? What am I talking about when I say you need a vehicle? You need something that you can get into that starts moving you towards getting in that 1%. So for example, if you work a job, all right, unless your job has the potential to pay you $400,000 or more a year, you're never gonna make the 1% on that job. And even if that job, just in case you don't know, even if that job pays you $400,000 a year, like if you make $400,000 a year on a job, you're probably bringing home what, 200, maybe 220, 240, maybe one something, depending on your benefits, your retirement plans, and your taxes. You might not even be bringing home $200,000 a year. You might be bringing 200 or a little more than $200,000 a year if you make 400. So in order for you to bring home $400,000 a year, you would probably have to make 800. you would probably have to make 700 or 800,000. So my point is, when I'm talking about you needing a vehicle, I'm not talking about a job. Even though if you have a job and your job is making you a certain amount of money, you might not be able to work 2 jobs. So it's not like if you make $200,000 a year on your job, you can go work 2 jobs like that to make 4. You might not be able to do that. Or if you make $50,000 a year, you can't work 8 jobs to make $400,000. So at some point you have to understand, having a vehicle to move me towards the 1%, it may start with my job, okay? So we're not saying you don't need a job. But what I'm saying is, if you have a job, maybe on that job you need to look for other vehicles. So for example, my staff that works for my company, they have a job, right? So they have a job that they have to do. There's certain roles, there are certain responsibilities, there are certain job descriptions and duties that everybody that works for any company has, correct? Well, outside of that job, if that job is not making you enough money, you need to find a vehicle. So you're either going to get a second job, but again, if your second job is not moving you beyond the threshold of poverty or struggle, why get a second job? You need to look for other types of vehicles. So when I say you need a vehicle, I'm not saying you don't need a job, but what I am saying is, even if you have a job, use your job as a basis. But what you need to be looking for is something centered around sales. Something that gives you the ability to maybe make a commission. So this could be a side hustle that you can use products. I'm gonna put P&S for products and services. So that means you can sell products and services and maybe get a commission. It could be affiliate marketing. It could be network marketing. You could be working for a company that has a sales department. Maybe you need to go over there to the sales manager and ask the sales manager, can you work part-time in the sales department? Or if you bring leads or referrals, can you get a commission? This is how you use vehicles to start increasing. Now, you might have to get educated too. You might have to learn more about sales. You might have to learn more about marketing. Like, you got people on social media today, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and all these other types of platforms. You got people, and I'm talking about like young people, teenagers in their 20s making millions of dollars. You know why? Because they're not thinking about a job. They're thinking about, what vehicle can I use to sell products and services? Even if I don't own the products and services, maybe I can use the products and services. So again, if you plan on climbing this ladder to the 1%, and you have a job that's making you 32,000, 40,000, 50, 120, you can't work more than one of those jobs. And maybe you're never going to get a position that gives you $400,000 or more. So at some point you have to look for what? A vehicle. And what vehicle do you need to be looking for? You need to be looking for some type of business vehicle. So that could be network marketing. That could be affiliate marketing. That could be you starting a business and getting products and services that you can sell and market and monetize through the vehicles of that business and social media platforms. So you need a vehicle. So now my question to you is, do you have a vehicle, or do you have vehicles at your disposal that you can use to make money? Because it's only so much you can do on a job. It's only so much money you're going to make. I always tell my team that. Even me, I'm the CEO of my company, so I got certain duties and responsibilities as the CEO, but it's only so much money I can get paid as a CEO. It's only so much money you can get paid as an employee. Whether you own the business or you work for the business, at some point you've got to figure out what vehicles. This is why people who are in sales make a lot of money. This is one of the reasons why me and my wife, we've always loved real estate because it was always commission based, and the commission was always based on how much work can we put in, how many deals can we close, and how big of a commission can we get. And because it was based on how much work we put in, how many clients we accumulated, how many deals we closed. Because it was based on that, we knew if we got better at it, if we put enough work in, we could make enough money to make a living. And we've been able to do that. For 20 years now, we've been able to do that. Has it been easy? Absolutely not. Did we give up a lot making that kind of sacrifice to use the vehicle of entrepreneurship to make a living for ourselves and to build our family? Absolutely. It was worth it though. But it was very, very hard. So I'm not telling you, especially if you have a job, I'm not telling you to leave your job. That's not what I'm telling you to do. What I'm telling you is use your job as a basis, but then pivot into some type of vehicle that you can start selling or doing affiliate marketing or getting paid from sharing links or making referrals or making calls, or you gotta do something. You can't just keep looking for labor-based work to make money, because you're probably never gonna do enough labor to get to the 1%. Think about some of the hardest working people in the world today. Think about the people who work hard. Like, I look at the people who, like, I got so many people I can talk about that I know work hard. Landscapers, people who do yard work, and farmers, people, teachers, firemen, policemen, medical personnel, people in what is the industry that I'm referring to? The environmental, janitorial industry, whether it's garbage men or people who clean. These are some of the hardest working people. Even day laborers, construction workers, contractors, people who do that kind of carpenters. Some of these people make decent money, but most of them don't make enough money to be in the 1%. But they're the hardest working people on the planet. So it's not that they're not making money. A lot of times they're not making enough money to make it to the 1%, because even though they have a job or even though they're in a business, it's just not a vehicle that can get them to the 1%. Now, this is my last point. If you're an entrepreneur and you got a business and you got certain products and services that you selling, if that business doesn't have the possibility or the potential to get you to the 1%, you might need to think again about this business. Because see, I've had clients, and I know I've offended some of my clients when I say these things, but I've had clients and people I've mentored and coached that have told me, oh, this is my business, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm doing it. And when they tell me and show me, I'm like, you're not gonna make no money doing this. Well, I know this is what God showed me, and I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and this is what my purpose is in life, and this is what I saw in a dream, and I had a vision about this, and I flew to Mars and came back, and all this, la, 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 la. But I'm saying, listen, I understand what you're saying. You ain't gonna make no money off this business, because it is not the right vehicle to ever get you to the 1%. So maybe you need to have an assessment done, whether it's with a coach or a consultant like me, or whether you just Google your way to figuring out how can I provide a self-assessment for my own business to see, is this business viable enough to get me to the 1%? Because every business ain't gonna get you to the 1%. It's just simple truth. Every business ain't gonna get you to the 1%. And just because you see some businesses that make it to the 1% and become wealthy by doing some of the things you do, it don't mean everybody gonna do it. So when you buy into what other people are doing, well, they became millionaires doing it. Oh, well, she came up with it, or he turned out to be successful in it. It don't mean that's gonna work for you. So you gotta make sure you have the right vehicle. So that's the first key to climbing the ladder to the 1%, all right? Key number 2. You need, and again, all this I'm teaching is in my course. So I teach this to my students. I teach this to my mentees. People I work with, I give them access to my training courses because I want you to be educated about this stuff, and I want you to put yourself in the best position possible so you can climb that doggone ladder. You gotta climb that ladder. You gotta get out of these. You gotta get out of this. You gotta get out of this. This is ruining so many people's future because they don't want to position themselves to get out of that. Here's my second key to climbing the ladder to the 1%. You need what I call a vertical. You need a vertical, okay? So remember, the first thing I told you that you needed was what? You needed a vehicle. So for example, when me and my wife, when we decided that we were gonna be full-time entrepreneurs 20 years ago, we decided we was gonna be full-time entrepreneurs. We knew we were called to ministry. So I was a preacher. My wife grew up in the church, so I knew I was gonna be a preacher for the rest of my life. That's really not even like a job or occupation. It's a calling. So you really ain't got no choice. At least I feel like you ain't got no choice. When you called, you called. So that's for another conversation. But on the business side, my wife and I, we had to decide what vehicle did we want to use. All right. So we knew we wanted to use the vehicle of business ownership, right? I'm showing you how this works. Business ownership. So my wife and I, we made a decision that, okay, in order for us, because here's what my wife and I said when we first got married and we started preparing for our future. We said 20 years ago, we want to be rich. We want to be wealthy. We want to be all up here. I want to be all up here in the green. I don't want to be down here. Now, again, at the time, 20 years ago, we didn't have this income ladder. So we didn't understand a lot of these things, but we knew we wanted to be successful, okay? We knew we wanted to have a lot of money. I want money, lots and lots of money. I want to be rich. We knew that. And we were committed to figuring out what we needed to do. But again, when you look at what I'm teaching you today in terms of these three keys, we needed a vehicle. So we decided, okay, we were not going to work conventional jobs. We wasn't going to just go clock in every day and just come home and try to figure out how we going to do it. My wife and I was like, nah. And I knew I was like, I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm willing to make whatever sacrifices that got to be made, okay? And so what my wife and I did was we said our vehicle is going to be business ownership. Now the next thing was a vertical. So now when we made the decision we was going to be be business owners, what type of business ownership? This is where the vertical comes in at, because a vertical is up and down. A vertical is not horizontal. See, a lot of you entrepreneurs, you trying to do everything, but you can't start out like that because you are ruining your chances of ever getting momentum in your business. This is what a lot of entrepreneurs do, and they make the mistake of it. So I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. Oh, by the way, I want to do that too. Oh, and I got an idea for that. But you ain't doing nothing. You know why? Because you have not decided what is your vertical. What is the one thing? Okay, the one thing. There's a book called The One Thing, real good book. What is the one thing you know you want to do that can make you some money? What is the low-hanging fruit right now? And so for my wife and I, we knew it was real estate. But let me show you how this works now, because we chose real estate that we wanted to be business owners in. So we wanted to own a real estate business. What did that mean? Well, that could have meant being a broker. That could have meant being property managers. That could have meant being flippers, being wholesalers. That could have meant residential. It could have meant commercial. In today's world, it could be short-term rentals, Airbnb business. It's so many verticals, but you got to decide the vertical. It don't mean you're going to do just that all the time, but you got to figure out what vertical, if I'm going to be a business owner and I'm going to use business as a vehicle, what area of business am I going to use as a vertical? And you got to get committed to it. Like, you can't just be trying everything and you're doing nothing. Because that's what my wife and I did. We decided that it was going to be real estate. And then when we looked at the real estate world, we realized, okay, my wife was gonna get a real estate license. She was pursuing them at the time. I was even pursuing mine. We decided, okay, I'm not gonna get my real estate license because I'm more creative. I'm more of the visionary. I'm like the CEO minded person. My wife, she's very detailed, analytical. She doesn't mind the paperwork, so she's very particular. So we both agreed that, you know what? Since we want to be business owners, that's the vehicle. Since we want the vertical to be real estate, what area in real estate, how detailed can we get in this vertical? So my wife is going to be a licensed agent. So she's going to do sales and she's going to do purchases. She'll represent both sides. And my wife, at the time, she didn't want to be a real estate broker. She was like, I don't want to be the broker. I just want to do the deals and make the money. Okay, for me, I didn't have a license. So now what am I going to do in the real estate? Well, I'll help you with the marketing. I'll help you with the sales. I also help you with the clients because I knew my way around a house. My daddy was a carpenter. So he was a master carpenter. He was a brick mason. Like, my daddy, literally, he built his mom's house. Him and his brother built his mom's house. He built his brother's house from the ground up, literally. So I learned everything about houses. I knew about electrical work. I knew plumbing. I knew how to put tile down. I knew drywalls. I knew roofing. Like, I could really do it all. I'm not as good as I used to be, but at least I knew my way around a house. It wasn't nothing in a house. I knew foundation work. It was a lot of stuff that I knew. So I used that for this vertical. So now my wife and I, we could represent clients who want to sell their houses, right? We could represent clients who want to buy houses. And if there was work that needed to get done, guess what? Here's your boy. Your boy's here. I got you. So now we can make money on both ends. But I'm just showing you that you got to decide the vehicle and you got to decide the vertical. You can't get into everything initially, and you ain't got. If I'm talking to you and you telling me I'm doing 20 different things, or I got 10 different things I'm doing, and not one of them is making you enough money to pay you and your business, you're doing it wrong. You haven't figured this part out. And sometimes I'm telling you what it takes because I work with people every day as a consultant and coach. Sometimes it takes you sitting down with a professional business coach or consultant and giving them an opportunity to assess, to analyze your business ideas, to see what are you thinking about doing or what are you doing that can actually monetize so that you can tweak it. Why would you just keep struggling as an entrepreneur? Why would you keep struggling as a business owner? And the money that you're losing because you're not willing to pay for somebody to educate you, you're not willing to buy courses, you ain't willing to pay for a coach. The money you're trying to save from paying for that, you're losing that and more because you're spinning your wheels. Does that really make logical sense? Does that make sense? I'm asking you a real question. So for example, I have 2 signature programs. I have a Millionaire Blueprint. It's an online program. So it's a training program. I can give it to you for 1 year for $1,500. I'm just showing you. I want you to do the math on this because I want to sell you on your own self. So $1,500. I have a mentorship program for a year for $3,500, which includes this $1,500 program. So I can educate you here. This is education online. Education online. You can learn everything about holding companies creative tax strategies, financial literacy, goal setting, sales, marketing, business systems, corporate systems, KPIs, all these things to help put a business together. You could pay $1,500 for 1 year of education online, or you could pay $3,500 for 1 year and get education and coaching, one-on-one session with me, weekly coaching calls with me and my team, quarterly workshops to teach you the nuts and bolts of sales and marketing and financial systems and operations. Now, here's what I want to ask you. If you keep doing the same thing you're currently doing right now, from now to next year this time, do you think it's going to cost you more than $3,500? Or are you going to make, you probably won't even make that. So I want you to understand the mistakes entrepreneurs are making by not paying for online education in these areas or coaches in these areas. You're losing that. You will lose more than $3,500 of opportunities in the next year than you will paying for somebody to help you just to look at your business where it is and say, this is not the way to go. This is how you need to reset it, restructure it. You need to go up on this price. You need to repackage this product. You need to market this that way. Like having a professional consultant or coach help you with your business is the game changer for every entrepreneur. And the money that you pay for that, you're losing it anyway by not having it, if that makes sense. All right, so let me give you the third key to climbing the income ladder to the 1%. The third key is you need, and this really goes right into what I'm talking about now. You need what I call velocity. You need velocity. Now, what is velocity? Do you know what velocity is? Velocity is another word for speed. You need speed. You need scalability. You need platforms. You need processes. And more importantly, you need people. This is what velocity is. And this one reason right here is why most entrepreneurs, this one reason right here is why most entrepreneurs never make it to the 1%. This is why right here. So again, you need a vehicle. We talked about that. You need the right vehicle. Some of you don't even have the right vehicle. This is why I talk about holding companies. Some of you right now, you got 6 different LLCs and you own all 6 of them because you don't understand the holding company. So that means you don't have the right vehicle. That's where a lot of your confusion is coming from. You also need a vertical. So you haven't decided what is the one thing you need to focus on today until it makes enough money so that it can start financing the other thing or the third thing. But you don't have the vertical. You don't have that figured out. And then number 3, this is the third one right here. Velocity. You need speed. I talk to so many entrepreneurs around this time every year, and so many of them tell me the same thing. Well, I'm gonna just wait to January. That's the most ridiculous thing you can do as a business owner. As a matter of fact, let me go back to this diagram. People who are up here in this category, people who are making this kind of money in the 1%, you know what business owners in that category are doing? They're speeding up. They're scaling right now. They're doing it for different reasons. A lot of them are doing it because they're lowering their tax bill. They know they need more write-offs so that they won't owe more taxes next year. Some of them are totally eliminating their tax bill because they're speeding and scaling. The people who are in the 1%, they understand velocity or speed is about having better platforms, better processes, and having better people. This is the time that they're paying I know people that wait till November and December and they'll pay for their whole coaching program for the whole next year in December just to get the write-off. But see, you don't know a lot of these things. You don't understand these strategies if you are not around people who do. And so if you want to climb that income ladder and get to the 1%, I promise you, it's a whole lot more than just the 3 things I'm talking about. But these 3 things represent the meat of how you actually climb. You need a vehicle. That means you got to have the right system. You have to have the right business system. This is one of the reasons why I personally recommend you having a holding company. Okay? When you set your holding company up, you can then determine if your holding company needs to have divisions under it or subsidiaries. Wholly owned businesses under it, okay? Once you have your structure, your infrastructure set up, once you start the right business, now you can start building your infrastructure. This is why I teach on starting, structuring, and scaling, because once you set up and start the right business, now in this area, you can look at your products, your services, you can look at your systems and your processes. And once you put this together correctly, it's easy for you to start moving your business towards the 1%. Now, how do you put all of this together? This is why I am here, because I am a business consultant, I'm a business coach, and I have programs that I've put together to show you either how to do it yourself or how my team and I can help you. So we have an online training program that teaches you all of these principles: how to start and structure holding companies, how to create divisions and subsidiaries, how to file and form the paperwork, how to draft your operating agreements, how to integrate systems and processes for your sales and your marketing and your financial systems and your operations, how to implement creative tax strategies, how to set up an organizational flow chart for your team and your staff so that you can start expanding your business. We got questions? Okay, we have a question on YouTube. Is that the name of the true game, Cut Taxes? He says, I'm going to watch Carnell on YouTube. I'm going to watch it from the beginning, but through my studies, I feel without emotion that the less taken is more gains. Yeah. I mean, that's the name of the game. The name of the game is to set your business up and structure it in a way that you minimize your tax liability while maximizing your profitability so that you can scale. That's the whole concept of starting the right business structure, system, structuring it correctly with systems and processes and products and services so that you can at some point scale it. So again, we have online training courses with all this information available. We have a 1-year business a coaching and consulting program. If you need not just the training, but you also need me and my team to work with you. Maybe you just need an assessment. Maybe you need someone like me as a business consultant and coach to just take a look at your business and to see where your blind spots at, where are your roadblocks, is your business structured the right way? Are your products and services priced and packaged the right way? Do you have the right systems and processes? Do you have any? If these are the things that you know you need, that means you need a business consultant. You need a coach to help you with this, who specializes in this. And again, not only do I provide it as a consultant and coach, but I am an educator, so I have courses that correspond with the type of work we do, so that while we help you get your business started the right way, structured the right way, we educate you on what exactly you're doing so that you know how to keep that business moving forward. So I would love to have an opportunity to speak with you to find out more about your business, more about your goals, more about what you want to accomplish. And I would love to have an opportunity to personally share more information with you about the educational programs that we have and the coaching programs that we have, or maybe you just want to have consulting services. You can literally just pay to have one session with me, and I promise you, like, you can ask anybody and I'll give you the names of some people. They may be watching this, they may put it in the comments, but if you just have one session with me or any competent business consultant and they take an inside look at your business, it will be worth that 100 times just in the value you get, not just from the session, but how it changes the direction of your life and your business. So I would love to speak with you. Just text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. That's all you have to do is text that. I try to make it as easy as possible because I want to help you. I don't want you to be around here scrambling and spinning your wheels. And you shouldn't end this year confused about what you're doing in your business, or you don't know what your products and services are. You don't know how to price them. You don't know how to package them. You don't know how to market them. You got 3 ideas for a business and you don't know where to start first. You got 4 LLCs and you don't know how to structure them. You need a business consultant. You need a business coach. You need somebody to help you with that. And I give you 2 options. You can either take my courses and learn these principles and concepts yourself, or you can be a part of my coaching program. Let me take a year to mentor you while you educate yourself so that you can be the most competent CEO you can be for your business and do it right the first time. And I promise you, like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The 2 programs I'm talking about, one is online training for $1,500 for a whole year. The other one is coaching, which includes online training, but it also includes personal coaching for $3,500 a year. There's no way you're going to learn all this stuff. Even if you paid $3,500, there's no way you're going to learn all this, have me and my team working with you for a whole year, get all this training, all this education, all this mentoring, all this coaching, and in a year, you don't at least make $3,500 back. You will probably save $35,000 just in taxes because you figured out new ways to lower that bill. I know what I'm saying is true. I've seen it so many times with people. It's just a matter of you believing it, or at least taking the chance to text me so that we can at least speak to you and give you an even more better presentation outside of just the show that we're hosting live today. While you're watching. So I look forward to hearing from you. Just text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. I appreciate all of you for taking the time to watch the show. Thank all of you for your questions. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for trusting me and my team to help you. And I hope you can see, like, behind the scenes from what you see on the show to understand what my heart is. Like, I really want you to be successful, and I know how hard it is. I have been a full-time entrepreneur. I haven't had a job in the last 20 years. I've worked my business for the last 20 years. It has been the hardest thing to do. It is so hard to start a business, structure that business, make money from that business so that it can pay you, pay itself, pay other people, and literally grow to a place of success. That's hard. And it requires the things that I'm talking about. It requires a lot of strategic information, a lot of consistent practices with that information. It requires support and help from somebody like me that is a professional in these things. Like, I might goof off and kick it, shoot the breeze, and act like I'm just an everyday person, which I am, but I know what type of work I do. I know how impactful this work is, and I know having someone that understands business systems and processes and infrastructure and how to put those types of things together to make them work for a business. I know how powerful it is, how impactful it is. So I look forward to hearing from you. Please reach out to us so that we can have an opportunity to speak with you. Otherwise, we'll be back here tomorrow. 12 o'clock noon Eastern. Be sure to put in the comments, okay? Put in the comments before you leave, what is your biggest takeaway? You probably got a lot of takeaways, but what is the biggest takeaway? What is one of the big takeaways you got from today's show? Would you put that in the comments so that we can see what you learned? Like what was your biggest takeaway or one of your biggest takeaways from today's show? Put it in the comments. I would love to read it, to get more information from you to see where you are. But don't forget to text Millionaire to that number so we can talk with you, get more information to you, and share with you how we can help you start, structure, and scale your business and your finances to the next level. Don't forget to get out there and vote. I love you. Appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon, same place, same time, right here on the Ramon Preston